Maybe you're a teacher seller and you're really struggling with trying to find the time to be able to be consistent with your content strategy. You're not really sure how to know what content goes onto what platforms or what stage of the process your content is in, or even where your content pillars are, and you have sticky notes over here and ideas over here, and you have a blog strategy but you don't have a YouTube strategy, and you wish you had one centralized place to store it all. That's why you need to create a content calendar within Trello. If you are new here, this is our third video in the Trello Mini-Series for teacher sellers. Video 1 was on how to organize your business using Trello, and I walked you through how to create a business headquarters, and so definitely make sure to check out that video first. Video 2 was where I shared my top Trello hacks and shortcuts, Chrome extensions, all of the things that I do inside my business on a regular basis to help me work smarter and not harder in Trello. So definitely check that out. And in video 3, we are talking all about how I create a content calendar system using Trello, and you're gonna get to make one right alongside of me. And then we have one more video next week, and then Talk Trello to Me, the ultimate teacher seller's guide to Trello is going to be available, a mini course for you that is less than $30. So be excited for that. But in today's video, like I said, we're going to be talking through how to make a content creation calendar for you using Trello. It's really simple, and so I'm gonna actually pull up my Trello board and show you myself. But before we do, if you're new here, the name's Rainey. I'm a Teacherpreneur productivity mentor. I help teacher sellers master their time and energy while scaling their biz so that they can ditch the hustle and grind, break up with busy, and stop sacrificing their mental health. And this channel is all about productivity and teacher seller tips and tricks to help you be the best teacher seller you can be and work less and make more. So if you're into that sort of thing, look at the notification bell, follow me on Instagram, Timely Teacherpreneur, all of that stuff. You know what to do if you want more information. So let's just get on to my content calendar board. Okay, now you're in one of the many content calendars that I've created over the years. This is not the exact one that I use anymore. Mine is actually a lot more elaborate than this, and I've had it in other videos, and I just don't want to blow your mind. That one is the one that I give all of my students inside of the batching breakdown, and so this is a smaller, simpler one that hopefully you will be able to utilize inside of your own business. You can make it really easily. Okay, so let's just walk through this content calendar really quickly so you can get a sense of how to make one for your own business. Really quickly, if you forgot how to make a board, click here, create board, name it, all of that stuff. I'm going to skip that for now. Okay, so the first thing I have is a future content idea bank. This is where you could store all of your future content ideas for any of the platforms that you have, and you can use the labels to mark it accordingly. So if you watched the last video, we know that if you hover over this and click L, it'll show you your labels. So I have YouTube, blog, launch, and then these are my content pillars, and then IG. Change these out with your content pillars. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I left a couple of examples, like if I wanted to do a future content idea on best engagement strategies, work sprints, Pomodoro method, how to create killer content. And like, for example, this one says it's a teacher seller tip, but it's also going to be a blog post is what I decided. So this is where you can store all of your future content ideas, kind of like a little idea bank within your content calendar so that you have inspiration to pull from accordingly. Over here next would be your content pillars, where you would put the 3 to 5 topics that you want to be known for within your niche. So I have mine down below. Mine is time management tips, systems, workflows, and processes, productivity hacks, and teacher seller tips. Oops, and you could. Okay, so yeah, so I have my pillars here. You can change yours out and change the colors and all the things. I just like always knowing what my pillars are, and I even have sub-pillars within each one. Like this one says time blocking, creating healthy habits and routines, daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly planning, goal setting effectively, and auditing our time. Whereas the systems and workflow one says sales systems, strategy systems, onboarding and offboarding, SOPs, which is like standard operating procedures and workflows, and automations. So just change them to meet the needs of whatever you need to have for your content pillars. I'll probably do a whole nother video on content pillars in the future because it's kind of like pivotal that you know what your pillars are in order to create solid content. Up next would be workflows and templates. This is where you would store all of your workflows and templates for your different platform. Like if you have a specific theme of the week Instagram template, then use that. If you have blog post templates, like if you have an actual like checklist of like start to finish what you do when you're writing a blog post, you could put it here in a checklist and just put process and then actually map it out like brainstorm, rough draft, all of that sort of things, and you could do that. But I'm going to delete this because we're not going to do that right now. But you can change it to make whatever you want and delete what you don't need. Like if you don't have a podcast, don't keep the Podlast template. So I didn't add workflows here because your workflow could be entirely different from what I do, or you might not have a workflow and you have to figure one out for yourself. And so I wanted to make it a lot easier for you to be able to do that yourself, which is why you can make your own workflows accordingly. Then we have all of the different platforms. Like I said, delete what you don't need, and I have a couple of examples in here. So Instagram post, this would be, so if it's an Instagram post and you're ready to schedule it, you could put it in here. And so when I actually put an Instagram post in here from start to finish, I will have my idea of what it's going to be about. So this one was supposed to be an IGTV, but I'm going to pretend that it was an IG post. Why sharing your story is the key to crafting quality content. And so then I put my whole entire caption in here with emojis and all, which you can do using a wonderful site called Emojipedia, I believe. Yes, Emojipedia. And I have all of my captions, and then I even have added my hashtags before. I didn't add a hashtag in here, but I could have. And then I added the graphics once I was done with it, and I even put in a due date of when it is due so that I know that this is ready to go. Once I see the graphic, I know it's ready to be scheduled, and so technically I could move that over to the schedule section in a minute, but I just wanted to show you an example. And so you can just put all of your ideas. So let's pretend that you had an idea, like maybe you're a math person and you want to do math centers activities. And you want to make that an IG post. You would put that here, and then you could start typing it in, like type your outline or put your, I guess, your intro, body, your call to action, because that's always important. What do you want people to do from this post? Do you want them to connect with you? Do you want them to buy a product of yours? What do you want them to do? And all of that stuff. And then you could save that and then add a photo just by going to attachments, computer, and add a photo. And we're just going to add a random photo, and I have no idea what this is. So let's see. Oh, it's just one of my reel covers. That's actually really funny. Okay, so anyway, that's just the simple way of how to do it. Okay, so that's an example for an IG post. You could do the same for IG Lives or IGTVs. Same thing for Reels. Same thing for blog posts. Same thing for YouTube and podcast. I gave an example of a YouTube one as well. So that is my actual thumbnail that I used for that YouTube video. And then I had the whole description, which my YouTube descriptions are always the same. I just changed the top part of it and like the what to watch next section and any helpful links. And so I just added it all right in there. I have my 3 tags that I like to use and all of that. And then I have my workflow down underneath. So I have pre-recording, what I need to do, my actual workflow, and then have I repurposed it into any of these things. And so that is an example of another one that is ready to go, technically. Once it's ready to schedule, I can move it and drag and drop it over to here. And then I know that I'm ready to schedule it or upload it to the actual platform that it belongs to. And so then, for example, this one would go to Instagram and this one would go onto YouTube. And I actually left my scheduling link. I use a scheduling link here. I use Later for Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. I manually do it on YouTube because I kind of have to. And then also for my blog as well. And then completed, this is where cards will go once they are completed and scheduled. And the party emoji is there because when you drag something, it gives you confetti. And that's like the best thing in the world. But I'm going to move this back to where it was. And so if you look, I've used this for a while, or I used this for a while. This was in an old business I had, hence the old branding colors. But I used this for quite a while to organize all of my content and all of the things. So it's actually really easy to make a content calendar. You just need to ideally have your pillars, your ideas, your workflows, and then just the different platform content you're creating for. And then all you do is drag and drop from where you want it to go to where it's going to be, like what type of platform, map it all out, move it on over to ready to schedule when it's ready, completed when it's completed. But I'm going to drag and drop this little guy back to where he belongs. And that's essentially it for creating a content calendar. It doesn't have to be anything super crazy. This is something you can easily make and replicate yourself. I will also say that this exact calendar is also available in the Talk Trello to Me Ultimate Teacher Seller Guide to Trello mini course. That's going to be less than $30. That drops next week. So if you want to just wait a week, you can easily have this. If you're like, I want this now, you can also make it yourself. That's why this video was made for you, so that I can easily walk you through how you can use this so that you can see all of your content at a glance in Trello, and then you can easily drag and drop it, and you're never second guessing what your strategy is for like how you create a blog post start to finish, or what blog post you still need to create, or what YouTube videos need to be edited. You can know at all steps of the process where it's at by having the graphics, the description, and your checklist. Most important thing of all. And then as simple as that as create a content calendar using Trello. And so hopefully you're able to either recreate that for yourself, or like I mentioned in that video, I am going to have that actual same exact board used in the Talk Trello with Me Ultimate Teacher Seller's Guide to Trello mini course that drops next week. So be excited for that. If you haven't been able to watch the other Trello videos, make sure to catch up. We have our last video in the series coming next week, which is where I'm going to talk about all of the different boards that I use in my teacher business using Trello. You get a sneak peek, and yes, they're all included in that course. If you can't wait and you want to start using Trello right away, I also have my Teacher Seller Ultimate Bundle that you can purchase down below. I will link that as well. And no, those boards are not all going to be in the bundle or in the course as well. So it's like separate boards from what's going to be included. So you could have like all of the Trello boards if you get that and also this. So be excited for that. But I hope this video was helpful. I hope that you're all wanting to be complete Trello people. If you're interested in Trello, I have a link to actually sign up for Trello underneath this video as well. Please like, share, and subscribe so that more teacher sellers can find Trello and figure out how to use it to the best of their abilities. When I say it is the #1 tool in my arsenal, I truly, truly meant it. And so with that, I'm gonna keep filming. I have a lot of videos to film. Son is that grandmother, so I've got to get ready to keep on going. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.